the Panthers, and they've now done it thrice, if you include the regular season. And they also had, I believe, 2 or 3 4-goal games against Vasilevsky as well. So for whatever reason, I mean, this guy may be like otherworldly in the crease, but the Panthers are shooting kryptonite putts at him, I guess, and it's working. So just kind of looking back onto Game 3 for a second, again, Tampa's power play, the big difference, the second period, all Tampa as just like quick fire. That power play is pretty scary. But Florida is doing a good job slowing down Tampa at even strength. You're starting to see those waves that I've been talking about that Tampa likes to bring, that they come at you with. And the Panthers doing a good job of slowing it down, doing a good job of controlling their gaps, the defensemen to Tampa's forwards coming through the neutral zone. And then, as I said, the Panthers are doing a good job making Andrei Vasilevsky look human when they're getting their opportunities as well. Something that I've noticed with the Panthers, we've talked a lot during the season about their puck possession, how that's a big part of their game. And the more I watch the Panthers possessing the puck against Tampa and just hanging on to it for that extra second, literally that extra 1 second, it's like Tampa will attack you, but then they'll peel off. They'll come at you to close their gap. They'll try to put a little pressure, and then they back off. So just hanging on to that puck for the extra second or two, the Panthers players are finding themselves with a little bit more room to operate. Yesterday, Coach Q gave us some updates ahead of today's game. First and foremost, Sasha Barkov, he reiterated, is fine after Barkov missed most of the first period on Thursday with an apparent upper body injury. Again, there was no talk, no nothing. It looked like, based on the hit, that it may have been something with an arm or a shoulder or a wrist or something. Again, just speculating here. But Barkov is fine. He did appear to get a little bit more comfortable as that game progressed, so hopefully the day off will get him a little bit closer to 100% because, we all know what a big integral part of the Panthers' success Sasha Barkov plays. Q also addressed the elephant in the room, the one that everybody's been waiting for all season, that Keith Yandle gets benched. Coach Q said it was a, quote, very difficult decision, but he, quote, handled it like a good pro, which you would expect from Keith Yandle. I would also expect not to see him in today's game. Coach Q said that it's likely Florida rolls out with the same lineup in Game 4 as they did in Game 3. The only difference, Sergei Bobrovsky will be starting in goal today. Again, not a surprise. Bob came in for Chris Streeter in relief in the third period in overtime, stopped every shot that came his way. A couple big saves. He had a big blocker save in the third period late. He had a nice glove save after a turnover in overtime. So we'll see if Bob can be Bob of old, be the Bob that swept the Lightning 2 seasons ago. I do just want to touch on this. How nice was it to get an overtime win? And I look, I don't mean in terms of the series and what it meant in obviously it's big in that regard. I'm talking about from a fan's perspective. The last time a Panthers fan was able to celebrate a playoff overtime win was May 12th, 96. Okay? We're all different ages, obviously. I was 13, May 12th, 96. So I got no damn clue how I celebrated back. I remember watching it, but I don't know how I felt. I don't know, if I was running around my house, whatever. I was 13. So this was nice. This was great. You've been watching playoff hockey for years and years and years, watching teams celebrate those amazingly emotional, important overtime playoff wins. And finally, we got a taste of that. I've been waiting for that for so long, and I'm sure many of you have too. So to get that, oh man, it was so nice. And the way it happened, that Lombard goal, that perfect play off the defensive zone draw, I mean, he couldn't have drawn it up any better on the chalkboard. And it was just great play after great play. It was face-off win by Achari, getting the puck to Gudas off the boards, Gudas with the flip, and then the play by Frank Vetrano, I don't think is being mentioned enough, because he had to reach behind him with his with his glove, corral the puck, and then move it up to his stick, and then tip it with his stick past Victor Hedman, the Norris Trophy candidate defenseman for Tampa. And as that was happening, Lombard simultaneously turns on the Jets and meets the puck behind Hedman in the offensive zone to go in on the breakaway, and then going backhand forehand to beat Vasilevsky in the 7-hole between his arm and his body. Oh, man, that was sweet. And then just the icing on the cake, the pièce de résistance, or however it's said, the moment, what kind of tied it all together was the call from Steve Goldstein. Just, that was great. Goldie is so awesome. And the Are You Kidding Me, Ryan Lombard? Oh, very, very good. Very good. Speaking of Lombard, the effect getting fist bumps from across the room from Austin Robart. His Ryan Lombard jersey is in the mail, apparently. Endless energy with Ryan Lombard. This is a guy who kind of personifies the phrase balls to the walls. Now, that can lead to a little over-exuberance at times, which is why Lombard isn't maybe as reliable or responsible as you'd like him to be because he plays with such an edge. But man, does he get his teammates pumped up. I mean, you think back to the goals he scored during the regular season, the comebacks that were fueled. It'll be really nice to see Lombard go out there today and the kind of support he'll probably bring from his teammates. Jonathan Huberdeau, quietly dominant in this series. He's got 3 points in Game 1 and in Game 3. Not coincidentally the games that he played alongside Sam Bennett, because those two have really found some chemistry. And it's so apparent when they're on the ice together. You wouldn't think that they've only been playing together for, 15 games or whatever it's been. Like, these two have, they've developed a really nice rapport. And I think that line, you could say they've had the best shifts of any line in this series. Owen Tippett on the right wing of that line. So we'll see if Huberdeau can keep it going. Now, the other guy you think of when you think of Jonathan Huberdeau, obviously you think of Sasha Barkov. He's still producing points-wise in Barkov. He's got 4 points in the 3 games. He's got 1 goal. Struggling against Tampa's top forwards. And look, it's the thing about Barkov, he's got he's -4 during the series, right? Now, during the regular season, he was +12, but in the 8 games against Tampa, he was a -2. So Barkov, a guy who so much responsibility falls on his shoulders for the defensive aspect of the game. And Tampa's got such lethal forwards that it kind of makes a little bit of sense that Barkov would be struggling more against a team like Tampa than he did against the Detroits and the Columbuses and, the lesser teams of the division. Basically anybody not from Tampa or Carolina. And as I mentioned, Q reiterated that Barkov is fine. He'll be out there today, hopefully with no limitations. I wouldn't expect to hear about any of that anyway because it's the playoffs and it's gamesmanship and yada, yada, yada. But hopefully we see the normal Barkov, not a hobbled Barkov. Anthony Duclair, he showed up the first half at least of Game 3. Tampa's doing a good job limiting the speed on the outside. You talk about the Ryan Lombard goal. It was a unique example of what Florida hasn't really been able to do, which is generate that speed on the outside that we got accustomed to seeing in the regular season. I think that's part of why Frank Vetrano has not had the kind of impact that we saw from him during the regular season, and I think it's similar with Anthony Duclair. Now, with Duclair, what was nice to see is that while he can't move his feet to generate that energy moving through the neutral zone, picking up the speed, we did see him moving his feet and really making things happen along the boards in the tight areas of the offensive zone. And look, you take what you can get. We know that Anthony Duclair's got some skill offensively, so if he can show up in the O-zone, look, you got to take what you can get. That's the bottom line. So with Tampa, I want to talk about Tampa for a minute. We were going to have Joe Smith from The Athletic on the show today, so unfortunately we'll have to rain check that. Maybe next week. No, actually, thinking ahead, schedule in my head, Game 7 would be Friday. So, yeah, next week's show, we're either going to be talking about the second round or crying, I guess. But let's focus on the today. So, anyway, Tampa. Not quite the team of 2 years ago that would just run you over, that ran into a bit of a roadblock in the first round. And that's why they evolved into the team they were last season that could get a lead and then shut you down, sit on the lead, which wasn't something you saw from the Tampa team of a couple of years ago. So you had the juggernaut that wanted to run you over, and that when they couldn't, it caused issues. Then you had the more rounded team that could score when they needed to, but could also sit on the lead and shut you down. Now, I'm not sure what we're seeing this year, because we see elements of a team that can score big, especially when they're given the opportunities on the power play. Not so much the shutdown team. You saw it a bit in game 2, but the Panthers did get their chances. So I don't know what to expect with this Tampa team. So this is going to be a really interesting game today. After the way that game 3 kind of wrapped up, the matinee games are always a little weird when it's a hockey game that starts in the 12 o'clock hour. You know, early afternoon is an odd time for hockey, unless you're, not a professional. 5 a.m. games are no big deal. Practices or anyway. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what to expect at this point. And, before we got on the air, I was talking to Sean Stanley. He's asking me, what do you predict for tonight? What's your feeling? I'm like, man, it's so hard to really pinpoint where it's going to go. Now, I'll do a quick around the pond moment here because I was going to kind of touch on all the series around the league. I'm just trying to go through here, what's worth talking about. I mean, Jeff Carter for Pittsburgh has been amazing. I'm not really that surprised that Winnipeg took 2 games in Edmonton because they totally shut down Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, neither of whom have a point in the 2 games. Colorado is steamrolling St. Louis. That's not surprising. I mean, if not for Jordan Binnington and goal for St. Louis, those games would be even more wide, which is kind of crazy to even think about. But Colorado is one to watch out for. Toronto-Montreal should be a good series. There's been one game. The big takeaway from that is that ridiculous freak injury to John Tavares, and you just pray that he's okay. He said, he's home, he's fine, but man, that was scary to watch. Looks like the Bruins are back to the Bruins of old in the playoffs. They're just totally dominating Washington since game 1. Vegas has been fun to watch. That series, the Vegas-Minnesota series, has probably been the most fun from the other side of the bracket series, whatever, to watch. And then good on Nashville last night, getting back into their series with a goal that was kind of similar to the Lomberg goal. There's like a long stretch pass and a bouncing puck, and it gets behind it and the backhand forehand. So yeah. And then I'll wrap it up here as we're wrapping up the show. My last thought: stop complaining about Tampa circumventing the cap. They operated within the rules. It's not fun. It's not cool. I know it's annoying, but look, they could afford to hold their guy out. Kucherov was able to stay out of the lineup. It's an unfortunate loophole that they exploited, but look, it's not Tampa's fault. If you want to complain to the league and to the Players Association who came up with the rules and agreed to it. Tampa's lucky that they're fortunate that they could hold Kucherov out and still do what they did, and now the Panthers are going to have to take care of business, and it starts in about 90 minutes. All right, that's the abbreviated version of Chirping the Cats Radio. I want to thank everybody who tuned in for the quick shot of the show. I want to thank Abel and Sean on the other side for doing everything they could to get us on the air today. Great job as always. And we didn't do any crosstalk, but please tune in coming on the other side of the break. Austin Robillard and Red Card Radio, as I'm quite sure he'll have a lot to talk about with Inter Miami playing the Chicago Fire later today. Until next week, hopefully we're talking about the Panthers in the second round. Thank you again for listening. I'm David Dwork. Please be kind, be safe, and stay cool. See ya.
When you want local sports, 1260 WLESPN.
We're live and local.
Yes, what she said.
Well, it's what they wrote.
Look at it this way, honey.
Oh, no, here we go.
At some point, this was all live, and wherever it came from, it was local there.
You get that look whenever you stretch the truth or when you need your laxative.
Ain't it awful?
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnSideRadio.com.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
At Onside Radio, we're your home for all sports, and we give gaming culture the platform it deserves.
Microsoft is currently taking part in negotiations to acquire Discord, the gamers' chat app, for $10 billion. As someone who frequently uses Discord, I sincerely hope that Microsoft just builds on what Discord is already doing, as opposed to trying to turn it for a profit and start charging all of us users who enjoy using the now free app.
Keep up with the latest in gaming and e-news daily. Subscribe to Onside Radio on most platforms. Your home for gamers worldwide. Onside